After 4 years of hitting the gym, today, for the first time ever, my dad came up to me and said, "Your physique is looking decent." Now, I know it was just a simple comment that he made, but it made me realize something. It made me realize that if you focus on yourself and you respect yourself for an extended amount of time, people will take notice, okay? Not only that, but they will respect you for it. Now, the opposite is also true. If you don't respect yourself, if you don't respect your boundaries, no one will respect you. Because respecting yourself isn't just about setting boundaries that other people can't cross. That is a part of it, but it's also about setting boundaries that you yourself can cross. And I'll give you an example. Imagine that you went to a friend's house, right? And the house was clean, it was pristine, it was organized. If you wanted to eat something at the house, you would be like, "Hey bro, can I just eat here at the table? I'll clean up afterwards." You'd make sure that everything was as clean as it was before you arrived, because that's the standard that the house was at. However, if you went to another friend's house and the house was the complete opposite, just a mess, it was dirty, it was, there were soda cans, empty soda cans all around the house, crumbs on the floor, would you really be worried about leaving, a couple of crumbs on the table? No, you wouldn't, okay? That's just the truth, because the standard of the house was already rock bottom, okay? The house already looks like a zoo anyways, so you don't care about respecting that house because the house isn't worthy of respect. And this is what I believe most people do not understand. The way you present yourself into the world gives the other people a sense of whether or not you are worthy of their respect. So essentially, we are walking billboards, okay? You can think of it like that. And we're advertising our lifestyle. We're advertising what we do. So when you see someone walking down the street and you see that they look clean, they're shaved, they are muscular, they have clothes that fit them well, they smell nice, what do all of those things are saying about that person? Well, that person takes care of themselves. They are disciplined. They are worried about, what image they are putting out into the outer world. So when you see someone like that, you think to yourself, okay, this person is making an effort. So I respect that, and I will respect them. I will give them my respect. But if it's the opposite, if you see someone walking down the street and they look like a slob, they don't smell good, they don't have clothes that fit them, they, clearly don't take care of their appearance, will you respect them in the same way as you respect the other person? And as much as you want to say that, you are inclusive and you respect everyone, naturally you're going to respect the first person more, because that's just the way we are, okay? If you see someone making an effort, you're going to recognize that effort and you will respect it. Now, I actually have this story from when I was in middle school. So there was this kid in my class that was really small, okay? And he wasn't bullied, but a couple of people picked on him for being small. And because of that, he never really had a lot of confidence. So I kept in touch with him all throughout our journey of school, all the way up to high school. But he just never really made the effort of taking care of himself. He wasn't clean shaved every day. He didn't have a haircut that suit him. He didn't have the clothes that, would maybe suit him a bit more. He just literally, you could see that he didn't care about his appearance. Or maybe he did care about his appearance. He just wasn't willing to make an effort to improve it. So thankfully, a couple months back, 6 months back, he's already in college now, just as I am, but he started to take care of himself. Okay, he's joined the gym. He found a haircut that suits him. He's regularly, shaving himself. And he's noticed that it's like he's living in a different person's body. Everyone treats him differently because now people notice that he is making an effort. And because of that, they just treat him differently. Is that right? Do you think that it's right that we treat people differently based on how they look? Maybe not, okay? Maybe it isn't. But that's how the world works. Appearances do matter. And if you want to be respected, you have to show that you are making an effort. Now, I know that for some people that may be, out of reach. Not everyone can afford the most expensive clothes. But honestly, it's not about that. It's about taking care of your appearance, taking care of the way you walk, okay? Your posture, work on that. That's something that you can do for free. Go on YouTube, watch a video. Instead of having your shoulders slumped down, walk with your chest high and just, straight face. Don't be always looking at the ground, because the way you carry yourself makes a huge difference in the way that other people perceive you. And, I was talking with this guy that used to be in my class, and he was just telling me that it's insane how his reality has shifted in the last couple of months. His social group has become larger because people are starting to talk with him, and he's starting to get invited to more parties. He started to have more friends. And I'm honestly extremely happy for him because I'm finally seeing him, go up in life and develop himself. But this is what it takes. If you want people to see you as someone who is worthy of respect, you have to invest in yourself. You have to respect yourself. And when I say respecting yourself, it's about setting boundaries that you won't cross. I'll give you an example. If you set the alarm for 7 a.m. and when our alarm clock hits at 7 a.m. and you don't want to get up, we've all been there, right? It happens. Just get up, because you made the promise to yourself that you would get up. And what happens with a lot of people is they do this, right? They promise themselves the night before, oh, I'm gonna wake up at 7 a.m. Then 7 a.m. rolls around and they don't wake up. They stay in bed. So that's one promise that they have broken to themselves, right? They had also made another promise saying that they would go to the gym on Thursday. Thursday rolls around and they don't go to the gym. Two promises have been broken. And as time goes on, you just accumulate this array of things that you promised yourself you would do, but you didn't do them. So let me ask you a question. If you had a friend who was constantly breaking promises that he made to you, would you still be his friend? Would you trust him? I know I wouldn't, right? If I had a friend that told me, yeah, bro, tomorrow I'll give you the project, and tomorrow rolls around and he didn't give me the project, I'm gonna be like, dude, what the hell? Like, your word doesn't mean anything anymore. And this is what happens with us, with ourselves. Our word doesn't mean anything to ourselves if we keep breaking it. If you make a promise to yourself and don't keep it, the value of your own self in your own mind goes down. You may not notice it, but it goes down. And if you don't respect yourself, people will start to notice that. Okay, people will start to notice that you don't keep your promises to yourself. And if you don't keep your promises to yourself, what is the likelihood that you will keep the promises to other people? Think about that and just invest in yourself more, okay? Make sure you don't break your promises. And I know it's hard. For me, the hardest part is waking up early, because once you wake up and you get the day started, it's easier, right? The engine is already running, but the waking up part is just, it's hard, man, especially when you don't sleep that much. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what it takes. So that's what we gotta do. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. Okay, join the club if you haven't. We're closing in on 1,000 subs, so I appreciate the help, and I'll catch you in the next one.